How about good morning? My name is Fernando de Jesús Reséndiz Medina, 21 years old, student at UNIDEH. I hope you are having a good day. We are broadcasting from the REMA UNIDEH Forum to present you the most relevant national and international news of the moment. We begin with the capture of Ismael Mayo Zambada, the co-founder of the Sinaloa cartel, wanted for decades. Joaquin Guzman Lopez, one of Chapo Guzman's sons, was arrested along with Zambada. There are different versions about his arrest. The government of Mexico assures that it did not participate in the capture operation, while Zambada's defense affirms that the drug trafficker was deceived by Chapo's son. How did Zambada fall? We review it later. Also, in the entertainment section, we will inform you about the Paris 2024 Olympic Games with the participation of Mexicans Alejandra Valencia, Ana Paula Vázquez, and Angela Ruiz in archery, which allowed them to bring home the first bronze medal for Mexico in these Paris 2024 Olympic Games against Gebbie Bayardo's Netherlands team. And finally, in the weather forecast, we will present the trajectory that Hurricane Beryl has had, which has lowered its intensity. It is now a Category 3 hurricane on the Daffer/Simpson scale, but torrential rains will still continue for Quintana Roo, rains intense for Yucatan, and very strong for Campeche, Chiapas and Tabasco, as well as gusts of wind of 120 to 140 kilometers per hour, waves of 4 to 6 meters high. We Star TV. Let's go directly to the arrest of Ismael Mayo Zambada. The leader of the Sinaloa cartel was arrested by U.S. authorities on July 25 in Texas Pass. They also captured Joaquin Guzman Lopez alias El Guerro, one of the sons of El Chapo. The United States Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, had a reward of $15 million on his head. El Mayo, 76 years old, had been wanted by U.S. authorities for decades. Zambada is accused of organized crime, conspiracy to commit murder, money laundering, and various crimes related to drug trafficking, such as the transfer of cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, and fentanyl to the United States. The New York Times has published, citing 3 United States federal agents, that Ismael Zambada, El Mayo, was deceived by Joaquin Guzman Lopez, son of El Chapo Guzman, to make him leave his hiding place in Sinaloa, and then force him to boarding an aircraft that would take him to the United States, where he was captured. The version of the U.S. agents, who spoke to the newspaper anonymously, confirms the complaint made from the first moment by the lawyer of the legendary leader of the Sinaloa cartel. The NYT states that El Mayo went to Culiacan thinking he would have a friendly meeting with the son of his former partner. A representative of the Jiuziminen family asserted that Mayond his son CHAPO voluntarily surrendered. Jose Luis Gonzalez Meza, who has presented himself as a lawyer for the family of Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, said in a statement that Ismael El Mayo Zambada and Joaquin Guzman Lopez surrendered after negotiating with the United States authorities. Approximately 4 years ago, talks began with the North American authorities about the possibility of voluntary surrender by the group, he said in a statement released by journalist Azucena Uresti. In an interview, Gonzalez Meza denied that his client's son betrayed Zambada and kidnapped him, but he accepted the versions of a pact with U.S. agencies as true. The letter also says that the relationship between both families has been impeccable, as well as with other factions of the Sinaloa cartel, such as the one led by Rafael Caro Quintero and Aureliano Barno Guzman, brother of El Chapo. The statements contradict what was said by Jeffrey Lichtman, the Guzman family's lawyer in the United States, who assured that there was no agreement with the government after Guzman Lopez's first appearance in the United States. Lichtman also reduced credibility to the comments of Frank Perez, Zambada's legal representative in that country, about an alleged kidnapping. When lawyers try to score points with the media with accusations like these, I ignore them, because they don't make sense, he said in Chicago, where the court hearing was held. Gonzalez Meza, a controversial figure who has presented himself as El Chapo's lawyer for at least a decade, also exonerated the Mexican government of the alleged deal between the cartel bosses and U.S. authorities. The arrest was without any coercion or pressure. He added and ruled out the possibility of a violent confrontation between the different factions of the organization. Contradictions continue over how the arrest of both drug traffickers occurred last Thursday in New Mexico. Now we present an interview for the production of REMA in English with Felipe de Jesus Reyes Martinez.
Good morning, Felipe. First of all, we want to know who is Mayo Zambada, and why is he so important?
Good morning. Well, look, Ismael Mario Zambada Garza, El Plano, Sinaloa, January 1, 1948, known as Mayo or Don Mayo, is a Mexican drug trafficker. Along with El Chapo Guzman and El Azul, he served as leader of the Sinaloa cartel. It is presumed that, after the capture of Guzman and the alleged death of Esparragosa, he ended up as the main leader of the aforementioned criminal organization, but delegating most of the cartel's operations to several of the middle managers. He worked as a logistics coordinator for the Sinaloa cartel, which is also said to have been the head of the shadow organization to make the cartel one of the most powerful criminal organizations in the world, helping in the export of cocaine and heroin from Mexico to various cities in the United States through tunnels, trains, ships, planes, submarines, small planes, and helicopters. He began his career in drug trafficking in the 1970s in the Guadalajara cartel, an organization directed by Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo, Ernesto Fonseca Carrillo, and Rafael Caro Quintero. He then worked in the Juarez cartel of Amado Carrillo, the Lord of the Skies, in which he rose to assume leadership after Carrillo's alleged death. In contrast to other drug traffickers, Zambada has always tried to maintain a low profile, which has allowed him to remain practically untouchable by Mexican and U.S. authorities for more than 5 decades. Likewise, in the 90s and part of the millennium, he worked alongside Adelio Lopez and Ignacio Coronel. Starting in 2001, El Mayo Zambada began working in collaboration with El Chapo Guzman, strengthening the Sinaloa cartel, especially through his son Vicente Zambada Niebla, who played a key role in the cartel by coordinating the shipment of several tons of cocaine from different countries in Central and South America via Mexico, destined for the United States. When Joaquin Chapo Guzman was arrested in February 2014, his great ally Ismael El Mayo Zambada and one of his mentors took his place at the helm of the Sinaloa cartel. That same day, the DEA made Mayo the most powerful boss in northern Mexico and the only one who had never been captured by the authorities, until Thursday, July 25, 2024.
Thank you, Felipe. We know that this drug lord has too many criminal acts that finally, due to a decision or error of the criminal organization, has him in this position today. Now, how is it possible that he has evaded arrest for more than 50 years, despite being one of the most recognized drug trafficking leaders in Mexico? And what made him now captured by U.S. authorities?
Well, I believe that this boss has been able to survive undefeated throughout all these decades, thanks to 3 virtues that it seems that everything disappeared on July 25. We are talking about a man who practically saw all his friends fall and partners Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo's, Rafael Caro Quintero, Amado Carrillo Fuentes, and El Chapo Guzman. From these falls, El Mayo Zambada has learned to have a low profile, to be less violent than a drug trafficker usually is. He has always preferred to conciliate or bribe to avoid falling into bloody wars. He is a man who has known how throughout all these decades to weave very deep relationships of complicity with the Mexican army, with the Navy, with the presidents of the Republic in turn, very particularly with the current president Andrés Manuel López Obrador, financing his last 3 presidential campaigns.
Now, how true is it that the son of El Mayo, Mayito Flaco, warned his father not to attend the meeting with Joaquin Guzman?
It is stated that a boss, one of the secretaries of El Mayo Zambada, has commented on this within the Zambada faction in the Sinaloa cartel. That Manito Flaco would have known about this meeting of Mayo Uthuakin and warned him not to attend this meeting, but Mayo Zambada did not heed this warning.
Thank you for your time, Felipe, and for the information. I return with you to the forum, Fernando.
This is how we remain so far with the information about this news that has spread internationally. So let us remember that El Mayo Zambada has strong relationships not only here in Mexico and in North and South America, but also in European countries. Now let's get to the entertainment, because the Mexicans Alejandra Valencia, Ana Paula Vázquez and Angela Ruiz won the bronze medal after beating Gabi Beardo's Netherlands in archery at the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. It is the first medal achieved by a Latin American country so far in the Olympics. Mexico already has a history in archery, already winning 4 medals in its history at the Olympic Games, but this was the first for women's teams. The Mexicans confirmed their status by beating Germany, the current world champion, in the quarterfinals by a resounding 5-1. However, they suffered a tight defeat in the semi-finals against the People's Republic of China by 3-5. Despite this, they managed to recover from the disappointment of being just 1 point away from advancing to the final in the decisive set against China to win the medal they went to Paris 2024 for. Valencia, Vázquez and Ruiz came to the match for 3rd place against the Netherlands, where they met again with Gabriela Schlosser, formerly Beardo, born in Tijuana but who, due to a personal decision, decided to compete for the Dutch. The Mexicans went to 4 sets to beat the Europeans with their graceful arrows, 6-2, with the last 3 perfect arrows, right in the 10th. Mexico thus adds its first medal in Paris 2024. The country also wins its 4th medal in archery, a sport that has gained great popularity since the 2000s. The first medal was Ada Roman Silva in London 2012 and who today, from Paris, narrated the exploits of his colleagues from the broadcast booth for the Clara Sports Network. Mariana Avicia also won bronze in the United Kingdom. In the Pandemic Games in Tokyo 2020, Alejandra Valencia and Luis Alvarez won bronze in the mixed event against Turkey. Thus, the Mexican delegation adds its 74th medal in all of history. With this we go with Fer Reyes, our weather forecaster. What do you have for us, Fer?
Good morning. Well, we are faced with the passage of Hurricane Beryl. It is already a Category 3 hurricane on the Saffir/Simpson scale. You said it well. It remains over the west of the Caribbean Sea and is moving towards the peninsula of Yucatan. The hurricane will approach the coast of Quintana Roo. Its cloud bands will produce torrential rains for Quintana Roo, intense rains for Yucatan, very strong rains for Campeche, Chiapas and Tabasco. If it maintains its trajectory and speed of movement, it is predicted that Beryl could make landfall tonight on the coast of Quintana Roo, and to this we must add tropical wave number 7 that will slowly travel through the Mexican southeast, causing showers and electrical storms in the mentioned region. That's it for the information, Fernando.
Thank you, Fer. Well, we have reached the end of this newscast. We appreciate your time. On behalf of the RENA in UNIDEH studio, I wish you a good day. We have my colleague Fer Reyes as weather forecaster, and Felipe as interview de Jesus, and I am Fernando de Jesus Reséndiz Medina. See you in the next news.